How's it going, folks? Stu here. Julia Ducournau has dropped her latest film, Titane, which is a departure from her previous work in that it's much more of a kind of family-oriented, take the kids out to the cinema time, which, you know, was a curveball from... I'm just kidding. This film was fucking mental. Yep, not sure how long I could have held that joke up for. This film's crazy. You've probably heard a lot about it. Let's chat about Titane. So, as I said, this is the latest film from Julia Ducournau, who is a fantastic French filmmaker who previously did Raw, which was another film which screened at the London Film Festival a few years back to crazy reactions. But Titane is an entirely different beast from Raw, and I loved it. With both these films now, Ducournau has proven that she has just been able to carve out this entirely singular, batshit, crazy, visceral corner of cinema, which blends so many different genres together, and she's just owning it, doing her own thing, and it's just a joy to behold. I really don't want to give away too much about this one because I think it's best experience knowing as little as you can going in. So all I'll say is that it is about a woman who has a metal plate in her head from an accident when she was young, and we follow her as an adult, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not going to say anything else. I appreciate that that's maybe the most vague description of a film you've ever heard in a YouTube review, and you can go to IMDb and get a more detailed description if you want of the film, but you ain't gonna get it here. All you need to know is that Titane is a super unflinching, visceral, crazy, but also strangely quite poignant and emotional ride, and it's not gonna be for everyone, but it is absolutely one that you need to check out and experience if you can. It's led by an absolutely killer central performance from French actress Agathe Roussel, who I don't think I've seen in anything before this, but boy, am I now gonna see whatever the fuck she does from here on. She's so good and absolutely throws everything into this role. It's an incredibly challenging character to have to follow through as an audience in the film, but I can't even imagine how challenging it is to get into this character as a performer, as an actress, and she just kills it. She doesn't say a lot in this film at all, really. I'd be interested to see how many lines she actually does have in this thing. But at the same time, it is just unforgettably in your face as a performance. The way she transforms herself from the beginning of this film to where we see her at the end of the film is nothing short of just kind of astonishing to watch on screen. I honestly was blown away by her, and I think this is absolutely one of the best performances of 2021, and it's a performance that I'm just not going to be able to shake for a long time. And I think that's the overall sentiment I got from Titane as a film as a whole. I don't know when I'm going to be able to shake this thing from my head, but it's not going to be soon, because Ducournau continues her fascinating sort of obsession with body horror, but not in a typical way that we'd maybe come to expect from a lot of genre pieces. She's doing something so unique with the body horror genre, and she's merging it and molding it into her own thing that is so wholly kind of unique and original, and you just can't look away at any point. It's brutal. It's very brutal. I mean, if you saw Raw, you'll know she doesn't shy away from showing fucked up shit on camera, and Titane kind of takes the baton on from Raw. It may be a little less charming way than that, because there are scenes in this film which are very tough to watch. It is almost impossible to get through Titane without having some kind of audible physical reaction to what you're seeing on screen. It's often something very brutal we're seeing, but also Ducournau does such a good job of building the anticipation of something that's about to happen. She's very, very good at that, and it means it's just such a visceral experience watching her films. But I love the way that this film throws it all at the wall in the first half, in the first act. I mean, it makes itself heard, you know what you're in for, it's very savage, and then just sort of constantly morphs and takes you to places that I genuinely just didn't expect. I know it's a bit of a cliche to talk about great films and say things like, I didn't know where we were going and it took me on a crazy journey, but this really did take me to places I didn't think we were going to be going. And that is where I think, aside from the very in-your-face brutal stuff in here, this film's probably not going to be for everyone, because it does sort of in a way feel like a film of two halves. which I actually think is a positive of the film. It's a strength of it. I found it to be constantly pushing boundaries and making you feel in ways that you just don't expect to feel. I found it to be a really weirdly quite poignant and moving film. And I heard that Ducournau herself said that this is a film which she wanted to sort of challenge herself to take on a bit more about love in there. And I think she succeeded in doing that in her own very specific way. And it makes for a much more oddly rewarding film than you sort of expect to get when it starts. And again, that's helped obviously by the brilliant performances which just absolutely absorb you into this film. But I have to applaud Ducournau for just delivering a film which is so out there and so unique, but she just doesn't really seem to give a shit how you want to react to it. She's just doing her own thing. And I absolutely love that when a filmmaker comes along and just tears shit up. And it's absolutely grounded her as one of the most interesting directors working. Her mind is just a temple of mentalness. I want to just pick it apart and understand how she comes up with some of these concepts and the way through some of these concepts. And I always love filmmakers that can use those large genre moments in films to mine more meaningful themes from the characters and the world of the film that they're showing. This is no different. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say that I 100% got everything that Ducournau is going for here, but it is a film which deals with a lot of really interesting themes like self-identity, love, as I said before, and family, finding family, loss, grieving. I mean, there's a lot going on here. And not only does that make for an incredibly satisfying and surprising first watch, it also means that I'm incredibly excited to go back and watch this thing again. I know it's going to be tough to get through at certain points, but I'm just excited to sort of peel away the layers and go a bit deeper into the themes that Ducournau is trying to explore here. She's absolutely one of the most fascinating directors working currently. She has such a unique way of navigating films. Only she could pull them off, right? So yeah, safe to say Titane really worked for me. I will say, I'm probably not gonna look at stools in the same way ever again. So thanks for that, Julia. I should probably reiterate from the beginning, you definitely don't take your kids to this. I mean, what cinema in its right mind would let your fucking kids in anyway? But I mean, if the time ever came around to watching it at home, maybe wait till the kids have gone to bed. They could sit and play with Hot Wheels. That might be a fun family bonding exercise. But again, and I guess this has been a trend with every film I've seen at the film festival at the moment, Titane is one which you just need to try and see on a big screen with a big crowd, because I think so much of the enjoyment of watching this film, the experience of seeing it, is seeing with the crowd that can react to what you're watching on screen. I'm telling you, the crowd will react. But what about you guys? Did you manage to catch Titane at this year's London Film Festival? Or have you seen it elsewhere in the year where it's been screening? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. We'll have a little chat. And of course, while you're down there, if you enjoyed this video and you do want to see me talk about more shit, go ahead and click subscribe, because we've got a whole ton more reviews coming from the festival that you should absolutely get a little bit excited for. I'll see you guys soon for some more thoughts on more films from the festival. But until next time, I'm going to go lie down for a bit.